we did everything else in supine. So, just going to start with a little compression onto the tops of the shoulders. And again, using my body weight. And I can turn my hands out so the heels of my hands come in a little closer to the base of the neck. I'm going to do a little traction, so one hand over the other at the base of the neck. I'm just going to lean back, give them a little traction. So here's what's happening. You know your occipital ridge? Mm-hmm. So we're going to use our middle fingers and press them right up against the occipital ridge. So that's what's happening here. So you have something to make contact with, and then you can just lean back and they get some cervical traction. You feel a little easy, right? And then we're going to release, and we're going to take the tips of our fingers and feel for the mastoid processes, the bony protuberance here, behind here, and we're going to come just below it and hook up underneath the occipital ridge. So this is bilateral, and we're just going to lean back so they get a little bit more cervical traction, but also your fingertips are addressing the suboccipital muscles up underneath the cervicals. So it's just a subtle shift of my body weight back to get to traction, and that's usually enough. And you're working, starting just on the inside of the mastoid process and working around to just lateral of the spinous process of the cervical vertebrae. So you're working towards the midline. We're going to lift up. Whoop, not you though. I'm going to lift up and bring the chin towards the chest as much as possible. That stretch is okay for you? Mm-hmm. And if this is uncomfortable for you as a therapist, you can come up and put one knee here and lift up like this. If you want to do sustained stretch, you can come and put one knee like this. Right? So this allows you to do what we're going to do next, which is feel for the clavicles and come just below the clavicles. And we're going to start just on either side of the sternum, or the head of the sternum, which is the manubrium. And you're just going to lean in with your body weight down and slightly towards their feet. So you're depressing not only the upper fibers of pec major, but also the subclavius muscle, which is just below the clavicle. And that really helps open up the chest. And it's surely just the pressure of the pads of my thumb through my extended arms, and you're just sinking in. That pressure's okay? Mm-hmm. And you take it out as far laterally as you can. We're going to do a little lateral flexion. So this is lateral flexion, right? Or where the nose is tilted up. So you can do this to a certain extent, but you'll start to see after a while the shoulder starts coming. So you want to stabilize it by putting your knee there and just leaning in to get nice lateral supportive flexion. Come around so you can see this. So this knee is making contact in the upper shoulder. Pressure's okay? Mm-hmm. Stabilizes the shoulder here. And then your extended arms can act as a lever just to lean forward to get lateral flexion. So you can do really nice sustained lateral flexion. No muss or fuss on the therapist. No sweating, no nothing. Easy. Mm-hmm. And you could easily just turn the acclimation to rotation. So same on other side, right? So it can be just like one motion where here you come and engage and laterally flex. So you create some nice space here. You know, other options, of course, you can do this, right? Easy. You can do this, right? Mm-hmm. But do it in a way where you use your body weight. So if you're using your body weight, then you're more in touch with the technique. So you'll be able to feel more. If your body's not compromised when you're doing the work, you'll feel more. You'll be more aware of what you're doing. Right? So lateral flexion. Also, just a few things to open up the neck too is this. So now you're supporting the natural lordosis of the neck with the curve of your leg. And you can just introduce just a little movement this way, so you're rolling the muscles. Let's ask her how it feels, shall we? How does that feel okay on your neck?
Mm-hmm.
And when I go like this, you feel a little engagement there up underneath your head? You heard it here live. St. Shiatsu, Chicago. So nice, nice. So then, and then stretching, leaning back with your body weight. Very supported. My fingers are hooking up underneath the occipital ridge just to have something to hold on to, stabilizing, and it's my body weight going this way. Nice to feel?
Mm-hmm.
Stretch, so nice. Right? And then if you two had a fight, go away. I've had it with you. So what to do, like you're trying to get a stretch here. Like in this position, you have nice support of the lordosis, but how do you initiate the stretch? You could do this, right? You could also do this, where I'm just leaning in. Nice contact. Just think about what's good. Very nice. Right? And we're just going to end with a little compression. So, you know how the skull has all the different bones that compromise it, right? Frontal, parietal, occipitals, and they all come together at sutures, right? So because of the muscles that sit on top of it, and which a lot of them run from here to the back, that they can compress and tighten, and the bones are meant to open and close slightly, which helps pump the craniosacral fluid in your spine. And if the muscles tighten down and they can't separate as much, you're doing yourself a disservice. So what we need to do, along with having big thoughts, is to do some compression into the sides of the head and the front of the head. So I'm going, my fingers are around the ears, and the palms of my hand are just compressing towards the center, and then slowly releasing. And if they don't immediately, they'll start to feel a little movement in between those areas. So you're compressing, because you're taking the tension off the muscles, like muscles here in the sun.
So you're compressing in
Yes.
or up?
No, in. Towards center.
Center, okay.
And releasing. Very nice. And we're going to end like this. We're going to take and scoop head like this. So the back of my hands are on the table, so I'm just scooping like this and turning my fingers up, and my fingers are going right into the occipital ridge. So my hands are supported by the table. So I'm coming in and simply curling my fingers, and see how her chin goes towards the ceiling. This is what you want. You want the weight of her head balancing on your pads of your fingers. And you're curling your fingers slightly back towards you, so you engage the suboccipitals up underneath the occipital ridge. And my hands are supported on the table so I can hang out here a long time.
What is a good time to hang out there to get a release?
Well, a couple of things. It's like if their head starts to release, it's like sometimes you'll go in there like this, because for whatever reason, I'm sure they have their reasons why they don't want to relax their head and neck. So I just stay here for a while, and if you get a little movement, then that's good. I don't really know time-wise. I just do it and I feel some opening.
I think an hour.
It's hour. So hour is the answer. So thank you. I'm sorry? So it's like I'm curling my fingers, and they're going into the occipital ridge, and the pressure comes from me leaning my body weight back. So I'm not going like this, because it's just a supported position. I'm just like this. So it's not this. It's like I curl my fingers and then I just lean back, and that's what supplies the pressure.
Like a hammock.
Huh?
Hammocking.
Yeah, exactly. No, and let the weight of the head, and this is like about 56 minutes I've been holding it, but we're going to let that go for enough. And then we'll just end with a little compression into the top of the head because it feels so lovely. Again, the sutures of the head come together at the top, at the fontanelle, so it's really nice, a little pressure there. Okay, so nice, easy routine. Thank you, Sakes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lovely hour.
Fastest hour ever.